Hello, my name is Lisa Martinez, and this is Module 1. I was born and raised here in Topeka, Kansas. I am married with 3 kiddos, Louie, who is 10, Gianni, who is 8, and Melinai, who is 7. I taught high school Spanish for 17 years. During that time, I got a master's in education from Baker University, a master's in teaching language with an emphasis in Spanish from the University of Southern Mississippi, and then I was fortunate enough to be part of the Kansas Teacher of the Year team in 2022. At the end of my tour with my K-TOY cohort, I was selected as the assistant principal for Scott Dual Language Elementary here in Topeka. It is a public application-based, fully immersed dual language elementary school. And here I am, Ed Leadership. So, addressing the content questions, the federal government is our first branch. It's responsible for making and enforcing the laws that apply to the entire country. We've got 3 branches within that: legislative, executive, and judicial. The legislative makes the laws, executive branch enforces the laws, and the judicial branch interprets the laws. The federal government has the power to regulate commerce and other activities that cross state lines. So, 5 key features. They provide funding for public schools through programs such as Title I and special education grants. They establish the national education policies and standards such as ESSA, and the Common Core standards for each state. They enforce federal laws related to education such as IDEA and Title IX. They provide resources and support to schools and educators through different initiatives such as grants, technical assistance, and research that aims to improve the educational system and student outcomes. And then they regulate and oversee education-related federal agencies such as the Department of Education. Next level of government is state government. They are responsible for making and enforcing laws that apply only to that state, also divided into the same 3 branches: legislative, executive, and judicial, which serve in the same capacities as federal government. They set education policies and standards for public schools within that state, allocating funding to local school districts, and enforcing state laws related to education. So 5 key features are that they establish education policies and standards for public schools within the state, such as curriculum, graduation requirements, and teacher certification. They are allocating funding to local school districts, enforcing those state laws related to education, providing support and guidance to the schools and districts within the state through the Department of Education, and supervising school boards and districts and holding them accountable for the performance of the schools and students. And the third branch is our local government. So typically they are run by elected officials, and they're responsible for a lot of different things, making and enforcing the laws that apply only to a specific geographic area within a state. They provide services such as schools, police, fire, and waste management, managing day-to-day operations of public schools within the jurisdiction, developing the budgets, hiring and evaluating staff, and setting policies for their schools, and then infrastructure and community amenities such as libraries and like recreation areas, and then enforcing local laws and ordinances, collecting taxes, and managing the public finances of the areas it serves. And 5 key features: they manage the day-to-day operations of public schools within their jurisdictions. They develop budgets, hire and evaluate staff, then set policies for their current schools such as curriculum, student conduct, and discipline. They provide services such as roads, parks, libraries, and other amenities. And then they enforce the local laws and ordinances, and they collect those taxes and manage the public finances of the areas they serve. So the duties and responsibilities of the Board of Education in Topeka Public Schools probably has a lot of similarities to a lot of other boards of education. So they're responsible for establishing educational policies to be carried out by the superintendent of schools, and they're composed of 7 elected members serving 4-year terms. The 6 of the members are going to be elected from 3 geographic districts, and then 1 is an at-large position. They have officers, including the president and the vice president, which are elected yearly. They are not paid, and the president presides over all meetings. They sign legal documents, perform other duties, and then the vice president, their main act is to support the president in their absence, but then they also have other restrictions on their position. And then meetings are open to the public and held, in our district, they're held monthly. I know that in some districts they're held twice a month. So they need to promote student and adult success and well-being by developing and implementing policies on mental health, academic standards, and inclusive culture and climate, by encouraging parental and community involvement, by providing professional development opportunities for staff or approving them in many cases. They help manage the district, they approve a budget, hire and evaluate the superintendent's performance, they establish policies and regulations, they oversee academic and administrative operations, and represent the community. In order to communicate with the public, the school board, they use newsletters, social media and community meetings to update the community. They also encourage communication within their own communications, and then they communicate openly and transparently about issues or concerns. A school board also has the responsibility to evaluate technology by reviewing and evaluating the technology, developing policies and procedures for safe and effective use, and then continuously assessing the effectiveness of the existing technology in order to utilize the operation system. They need to develop effective systems for HR, finance, and other admin tasks, using data and analytics to make informed decisions, and then continuously evaluating and improving existing systems. To evaluate data-informed and equitable school resource plans, school boards use data to identify areas of need. They develop plans that promote equity, and then they monitor and evaluate that effectiveness of that resource allocation. In order to implement laws, rights, policies, and regulations, they ensure compliance with the other levels of government, local, state, and federal. They develop policies and procedures on student safety, and they ensure equal access to educational opportunities. And lastly, reviewing and updating the district policies. My personal experiences with the 3 levels of government in regard to education. So Title I, and just kind of as a teacher, but also as an administrator, learning about what Title I funding can be used for, what it can't be used for, how to use it to our advantage towards school improvement, staff, I won't say retention, but morale, and things like that. So also implementing federal programs such as Common Core within the school district, learning how we can best support the teachers while also complying with Common Core. For state government, I was fortunate to have, or have been fortunate to have, quite a bit of experience just recently through Kansas Teacher of the Year. We had a legislative day where we worked with the Commission of Education, State Board of Education. Actually, we did that over the course of the entire year. And then I continue to serve on the Commissioner's Advisory Committee for Principals. So that I'm fortunate that I get to continue that that link. I've presented on to the Senate Education Committee, and then KTOY was also recognized on the Senate floor. It was a stressful, but it was a good day. Here's some pictures. So there's 8 members of the group. This is Suzanne Stevenson. She was the Kansas Teacher of the Year for 2022, and the 8 of us are spread all over the state and make up the whole team. I'm lucky that I live in Topeka, and so I've been on the Capitol steps for many times, but it was, including wedding pictures actually, but it was a really, it was a good day. It was really interesting. It was kind of hard knowing that some of the people that we were speaking to weren't necessarily in support of public education, and maybe even still aren't. And so standing up in front of them and advocating and wondering, are they hearing us? Are they listening? Anyway, it was definitely a once in a lifetime experience, and something that I'm really grateful for. So in terms of local government experience, I don't know if some of you guys have had me in other classes. I heavily advocated in my previous district against the removal of their name, which was named after the former KKK leader of Topeka. And so I heavily advocated in the space of DEI for our students. And this is just me and the KTOY group when we went with the former superintendent of USD 345 and Mr. Frank Henderson. He was the National School Board President and also our school board president, and all around amazing person, father of former student, great guy. So also through all of my KTOY interactions, I met lots of school boards across the state. And then just recently, just the other night, I was at an International Baccalaureate presentation for my current district, USD 501, Topeka Public Schools, to advocate for my school and another one to be an International Baccalaureate elementary program, and just seeing if we can move that forward for ourselves, which they said yes. All right, so how did my work correlate to our standard? It demonstrated an understanding of how local, state, and federal governments are integrated with education, and understanding this is going to improve my understanding of management, communication, technology, school level governance, and operational systems. This is the order that I put these in. I toyed around with it for quite a while. So management has to be first. It ensures efficiency and effectiveness. And then communication, clear and effective communication. I really wanted to put that first. But everyone has to be involved at all levels with most things. So technology, we need to make sure that when we're using the technology that we're really using it for student learning and the ease of communication within the district and community, and then our operational systems, which really support everything else. This assignment was relevant to my learning because it really helped me understand the responsibilities and roles of the federal, state, and local governments, how they interact, and how they can work together to support student success. And it's going to help me prioritize and allocate resources, and I'll be able to utilize this knowledge to make informed decisions that benefit students. It's going to impact the way that I lead going forward by providing you with a deeper understanding of the key components of government and a reminder of those, and how they integrate with school management, which is something that I hadn't really thought of before this assignment. And I'm interested to find out more about cases that set a precedent, and then having the confidence to navigate the levels of government and speak on them is going to ensure that I'll be able to contribute to making sure that my school and district are in compliance with all the legal requirements to make me all around a better and more effective leader. thank you guys for listening, and thank you for the opportunity to reflect and on the nostalgia of some of my experiences in the last year. So I look forward to seeing you guys in class.